Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt. It's ammunition review today. 9mm is our flavor of choice from AAC, not to be confused with Advanced Armament Corporation. This is America's Ammunition Company, a subsidiary that's owned by the same holding company that owns PSA. This is the 147 grain Full Metal Jacket Quiet Boys. Let's throw these guys on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. It's around 52, 55 degrees outside today. We have a wide variety of barrel lengths from 3 all the way up to and including 16. After we've collected our velocity figures, we'll step out to 25 yards and give you guys a practical accuracy test. I myself like to use our 147 grain or heavier bullets for when shooting suppressed, mainly because they will remain subsonic, or they should, through all of our barrel lengths up to and including 16, so we're not going to get that supersonic crack. So if you're out here shooting suppressed and you want to be as quiet as possible, these heavier loadings are going to do it for you. We'll start with our shortest barrel length. This is our Springfield Hellcat with a 3-inch barrel. On to our 4-inch. This is our Gen 4 Glock 19 MLS. On to our 4.5-inch. This is our AREX Delta Gen 2 Long Slide. Very nice, thin and light pistol. Now we step up in barrel length. This is our UTAS Mini 9, has a 6-inch barrel, pretty much straight blowback. A little harsh on the recoil in my opinion compared to, say, our CZ Scorpion Evo. Runs off Glock magazines, has an AR-like charging handle on the top. Now on to our CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 SBR. This has a 7.72-inch barrel. Pretty much my favorite PCC. Now for Mr. Longboy. This is our PSA ARV9. Runs off of our CZ Scorpion Evo 3 magazines. Pretty much straight blowback here. The one thing I don't like about this particular design, at least the upper, is they should have a brass deflector on there, because when I'm shooting left-handed, all the gases from that port come back and hit me in the face. Like that. We'll grab a string with our suppressor on here to see if we gain any velocity in the 16-inch. This is a YHM R9. Very close to supersonic there. Could hear a little bit of that crack going on with this load. I typically like our 158 or 165 grains if you're going to shoot in our longer barrel lengths to remain subsonic, but this should work pretty well in the 7.72-inch barrel. Much better sounding on our PCC. Here is our AAC 147 grain, 25 yards, with the Evo running the R9 today, our first group 1.427 inches. Then our second group tightened up a little bit at 1.177. We're using a 6-power optic on there. No lead sled today. Probably the second best grouping today, maybe besides the MagTech. Very respectable for a full metal jacket. It was around 50 degrees outside today. Well, folks, there you have it. A solid subsonic loading from AAC in 147 grain. We were approaching that supersonic threshold of around 1130 feet per second in our 16-inch, but we remained under that threshold. We had very good accuracy in this load, probably the second best out of the 4 that we shot today, the better being the 124 grain. Didn't have any hiccups or issues with pierced primers, cracked necks, bulge cases, or anything that would lead me not to recommending this particular bullet, at least in our small sample size. We didn't have any jackets spinning off of our bullet, flying through our suppressor and ruining that. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here because it's Sunday and it's movie night. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number 1 is my Patreon, Subscribe, Star, and YouTube channel memberships. I have a link tree in the description below. Various different ways to contact me or support me. I've got affiliate links or discount codes, and I pretty much put all those commissions that I earn, which is not a lot, by the way. It's like 2% on some things, 5 and maybe 10 on some other ones. I pretty much put all that money back in the channel, either buying supplies, buying optics for some of these guns that I buy. There's a woodpecker over there. So I pretty much use as many of these funds as possible to give you guys as much data as possible. I'm not the most entertaining person over here. I'm pretty much a hard cut data guy. So if you're looking to make a purchase and you need to know that that 147 grain is going to be subsonic in your 7-inch barrel, that's why I've got data here. Number 2 is Jamin and Josiah and the rest of the crew over at AAC, again in full transparency, sent me that and a bunch of their other ammunition to test with no strings attached. I'm eagerly waiting all of the offerings that they have been coming out with. I'd like to test their 308 next, and I know they've teased a lot at our Russian calibers like 5.45 and 7.62 by 3.9, so I can't wait to get my hands on those when those are released. And of course, number 3 is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.